Kids and others who have just seen puppetry as an entertainment, they get to see how it's made, and they're so fascinated to see it's made with goat skin. So there it all begins. And even here, one of my friends, Saravanan from Pondicherry, he makes huge installations he makes art out of junk and scrap metal. And you see the temple car, the minute I showed Raj, he said, "Oh, this is beautiful, we should have it." So it's like that. Now I see a lot of youngsters looking at the installations here, just like see at our museum, and they'll be encouraged to do something with whatever is available, the available materials. Parvati did a beautiful installation with the plastic and water bottle. So it just gives people ideas to do something on their own. Everyone wants to be a painter these days because there's so much info on the internet, and the price tags, I think, are very encouraging to some of the youngsters. So they kind of, what is this? And I know sometimes when kids come to the gallery, when they see abstract art with fancy price tags, they're like, "Wow, what is this? I can do better than this," and those sort of things. So it's all about the visual culture, which is not up to the mark, because our school syllabus do not have it. So a public space like this, it'll make them think, and then they go back and they search on it, research on it. So they produce good art out of nothing. It doesn't have to be oil paints and huge canvas. So children and youngsters will be initiated through these kind of initiatives.
Anika left a career in finance and moved to Chennai to set up a garment business that deals with
public art is something that funding and effort should be devoted towards, and instead present what I hope is a persuasive argument that would appeal to a wider audience, including people who don't necessarily come to it. Either I would look for something that connected with my values or my thought process, or because I'm in the field of design, in a kind of selfish way, I would look to see if there was something I could derive from that and plug into my work. But I recently had this experience at the Kochi Biennale a few weeks ago that possibly changes the way that I will look at art going forward. And I saw a few installations, 2 video installations in particular, that made me momentarily lose my mind. But when I say lose my mind, I don't mean to say that I went insane. What I mean is that it felt like for a while my mind dissolved and I merged with these art pieces. Experiencing that blank space allows us to open our minds. See, we're all walking around operating within our own box, and our own box is informed by our own experiences. And our experiences inform our worldview, but what we forget is that our experiences are only our own. So if there's a way to enlarge it, then it means that we are human beings with more bandwidth and more capacity, which makes us more beneficial to society. So I just wanted to not presume that we all are on the same page and just present something that would appeal to a wider audience to understand why art is important at all. Coming back to design and sustainability, I think for most people, enlarging, then it means that we are human beings with more bandwidth and more capacity, which makes us more beneficial to society. So I just wanted to not presume that we all are on the same page and just present something that would appeal to a wider audience to understand why art is important at all. Coming back to design and sustainability, I think for most people, most creative people, you feel happiest when your work reaches out to many people. It's our medium of communication, so to speak, and so when somebody else likes it, you feel, oh yeah, somebody's understood my way of communicating. So much of it comes down to funding, exposure, and so many other things. So I think the trick is then how to communicate through various means. So in my case, it's through clothes, through photography, through imagery, and through conversing.
Thank you. Murli, I'm going to ask you a question now. Years now, he's a big supporter. We have one of his works as a permanent artwork in VR Bengaluru in Whitefield. It's a lovely work. It's much appreciated. So as a senior, what would you like to see in the art space, in the public art space, that people like you can be involved in? Because again, like Anaka mentioned, you know, a lot of this in the public domain comes down to funding. And a lot of times, senior artists like you are unaffordable. So how do we get good quality art, and how do you lead by example so that we can see museum quality art come into the public domain?
That wherever public art is, that there's no violence. The first thing is it's reduce human of people. It's also support and encourage love and betterment of humanity. Also, it's create kind of wellness in society. That we need to understand. When we talk about the good relationship with that space, these all are the basic, the aesthetical sense of public art. I've been involved. We are as contributors. The spacing we are has taken up, and we have started the promoting public art into a kind of new areas. Earlier it was like public art office or somewhere else, okay, or public, what do you say, kind of, the gardens, places. But VR has, really gone through a lot of, the proper selection process. We are also done a lot of, it is, little difficult thing. But when people come to the shopping mall, VR, especially, the mall, the space is created to sensitize their aesthetical and the kind of, the human feelings. VR mall, what I felt is like, a kind of, this space which, generally people create, I'm an audience and I'm a performer, which has been nullified or trashed, in particular performance. I felt that, my audience become part of my...
Engaging to the public.
Question. I'm an artist who's idealistic in that I believe that art is for everyone, but it's not necessarily, a gallery or an artist that you collect. Whereas if you're somebody who's scared to go into a gallery, and this is a very real feeling, because galleries are not necessarily inviting places, but does that mean that the only art that can speak has to be in a gallery? I don't think so. And I think that's sort of where public art comes in, where if you don't go to the art comes to you. I'm a studio artist. I make art and I show this art in galleries and in exhibitions, and it's a very, very important place for me. I find my place in the universe when I make art. It's, it speaks to me directly, and I find it allowed the river to speak, or on the beach, or in a railway station, or even a place like, say, the Kochi Biennale, which is very public. You know, when I showed at the Kochi Biennale, 5 lakh people came to see it. So I think that's sort of as public as we can get in a way. And I think it's been an incredible journey of connecting with people to make public art. So,
Yes, thank you for that. Translate that into other parts of our cities. Of a few.
First and foremost, let me thank everybody here. It's been a pleasure walking into the mall this evening. Also, thank you, Sumi, and the organizers for having us all on the panel. To answer your question, I think there's some inspiration there itself in what you said, because when I was invited to the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the entire belief of the President of India was to make art, to take art to the public. So we can't take the man to the mountain to the man. And in his own words, he said, I wanted to break down the boundaries of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. But all said and done, the largest collection of art anywhere you can think of in the country.
Every time not to build shopping centers which are all about the hardware of good-looking stores and people to come and shop here. It's really about open areas, which is the public spaces where people can come and enjoy in our shopping centers. We are not putting a tag